On November 18, 1978, over 900 people died in a remote jungle settlement in Guyana. Men, women, and children who willingly drank cyanide-laced drinks. This wasn't a massacre by force, but by choice, orchestrated by cult leader Jim Jones. The tragedy of Jonestown raises a terrifying question. How do intelligent, capable people come to blindly follow someone to their death? We often believe that intelligence protects us from foolishness, but history repeatedly shows otherwise. One man who understood this deeply was Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a German theologian who lived during Nazi Germany. Bonhoeffer argued that stupidity, not evil, is the greatest threat to humanity. Unlike evil, which has intention, motive, and can be confronted and reasoned with, stupidity is mindless, blind, and immune to logic. Stupidity isn't just ignorance. It's the refusal to learn, the rejection of truth even when facts are undeniable. A stupid person does not seek answers, but clings stubbornly to what they already believe, rejecting evidence and reason. This makes stupidity far more dangerous than evil because it is unlimited, self-sustaining, and thrives without resistance. Unlike ignorance, which can be cured through knowledge, stupidity resists change and spreads easily, especially in groups. In groups, people often stop thinking for themselves and start following the majority, assuming that if everyone believes something, it must be right. This groupthink is the foundation of mass propaganda and blind obedience, and it has caused some of the darkest events in history. For example, the Challenger space shuttle disaster in 1986 happened not because of a lack of knowledge, engineers knew the risks, but because leadership ignored the warnings. It wasn't ignorance, it was stupidity. A refusal to accept uncomfortable truth. Bonhoeffer also noted that stupidity is not just a personal flaw, but a societal disease that spreads when people stop questioning and surrender to the collective. Dictators like Adolf Hitler didn't need an army of evil people. They needed a population too obedient and too afraid to think critically. Propaganda, emotional speeches, and fear kept people silent and compliant. Psychologists like Stanley Milgram and Solomon Asch have shown in experiments that people will obey authority and conform to groups even when it means going against what they know is right. In Milgram's experiment, participants believed they were giving deadly electric shocks to others simply because an authority figure told them to. In Asch's experiment, participants gave wrong answers to obvious questions just to fit in with a group. These experiments reveal how easily people abandon their judgment and surrender to stupidity under social pressure. Bonhoeffer warned that stupidity becomes most dangerous when it goes unchallenged. In today's world, false information spreads faster than ever, aided by blind obedience and resistance to truth. And perhaps most disturbingly, stupidity often thrives in power. We assume powerful people must be intelligent, but history shows that power can blind people to their ignorance. The higher someone rises, the less they are questioned, and the more they start to believe their own flawed thinking. Stupidity is not just a personal issue, it's a societal one that shapes history, politics, and culture. It allows dictators to rise, wars to be fought on false premises, and disasters to happen despite clear warnings. Bonhoeffer believed that the only way to fight stupidity is by helping people think for themselves again. Unlike evil, which we can fight directly, stupidity can only be defeated by awakening minds. If we don't, we risk repeating the same catastrophic mistakes over and over. The greatest danger to society is not the few who seek to do harm, but the many who stop thinking, stop questioning, and blindly follow. Stupidity does not need hate, or cruelty, or motive. It only needs silence and surrender to destroy everything in its path. Power has a strange way of making people blind to their own ignorance. The more powerful someone becomes, the less they are able to see their own mistakes. Intelligent people in high positions often make foolish decisions because power isolates them from reality. As people climb higher, they stop facing the consequences of their actions. They surround themselves with supporters who tell them only what they want to hear, creating an echo chamber where criticism is silenced and mistakes go unnoticed. This illusion of infallibility leads them to believe they are always right, simply because they are in charge. History is full of examples where this blindness caused disaster. The 2008 financial crisis happened because powerful executives ignored expert warnings, believing they were too successful to fail. The Chernobyl disaster happened because Soviet leaders ignored safety concerns, obsessed with proving their superiority. In both cases, arrogance born from power led to catastrophe. Psychologists have found that power makes people overconfident, less empathetic, and more reckless. They take risks without thinking because they feel untouchable. This cycle can only be broken through self-awareness and humility. The best leaders are those who welcome disagreement and stay connected to the people they lead. But these qualities are rare. Most powerful people resist change and silence those who challenge them. Philosopher Dietrich Bonhoeffer warned that stupidity is more dangerous than evil because it spreads easily and silently. Today, stupidity spreads faster than ever through social media. False information moves 6 times faster than facts because it triggers strong emotions like fear and anger. People don't share information because it's true. They share it because it confirms their beliefs. When challenged, they double down instead of admitting they were wrong. Conspiracy theories, anti-science movements, and blind political loyalty all thrive in this environment. Propaganda works by feeding people comforting lies and discouraging independent thought. This is how authoritarian regimes manipulate entire populations, not through genius, but by making people stop thinking. Bonhoeffer believed stupidity is a moral failure. People choose to stop thinking because it's easier. It's easier to follow the crowd, to obey, to accept comfortable lies than to face uncomfortable truths. But stupidity is not destiny. It can be resisted. The first step is to think critically. Ask questions, analyze evidence, and watch out for emotional manipulation. Break out of echo chambers and listen to opposing views. Read things that challenge your beliefs. Surround yourself with people who think, not just agree. Don't believe something just because everyone else does. Responsibility means questioning authority and not confusing obedience with morality. History shows that ordinary people, those who just followed orders, were responsible for some of the worst atrocities. Evil may have given the order, but stupidity followed it. The only way to avoid repeating these mistakes is to think. Today's stupidity is spreading fast, not through mass rallies or state-controlled newspapers, but through algorithms and viral headlines. People are thinking less and obeying more. The danger is that stupidity doesn't announce itself. You won't know when it takes hold. It simply spreads until society wakes up too late. The real threat to humanity is not evil masterminds, but people who stop questioning. So, the final choice is yours. Will you think for yourself or be a follower? At Cyphus, we explore the hidden forces shaping your mind, biases, blind spots, and belief traps. If you want to learn how to resist manipulation and think independently in a world that rewards blind obedience, subscribe. Because in the end, the most powerful act of resistance is simply to think.